You check your bank account. $340. Rent is due in 6 days. You're not broke. You have a job. A decent one. You bring home $3,800 a month. So where does it go? You open your banking app and start scrolling backward. Coffee, $6.40. Uber Eats, $28. Coffee again, $6.40. Adjust this once. Amazon order, $47. Another coffee. Another delivery fee. Another impulse buy you don't even remember making. None of it feels like spending. It just feels like living. That night you do something most people talk about but never actually do. You open a notes app and write one sentence at the top. 90 days, no coffee shops, no delivery apps, no impulse buys. Let's see what's actually happening to my money. You have no idea, in that moment, that this experiment is about to change more than your bank balance. It's about to change how you see every single dollar you touch. Day 1 feels easy. You're motivated. You make coffee at home, pack lunch, feel proud of yourself by 10 a.m. By day 4, the cracks show. You're in a meeting that runs long, you're starving, and your thumb is already hovering over the delivery app icon before you catch yourself. You put the phone down. You eat crackers from your desk drawer instead. It is not satisfying. It is not fun, but you don't order. By day 10, you realize something uncomfortable. You weren't just spending money on convenience. You were spending money on avoiding small discomforts. Hungry and don't want to cook. Order in. Tired and don't want to think. Buy something new. Feel a little spark of excitement. Bored on a Sunday. Coffee shop. Just to have somewhere to be. Every one of those small discomforts used to get solved with $8, $15, $40 at a time. Now you just have to sit with them. You start tracking every dollar you would have spent in a separate note. Not to spend it, just to see it. By day 30, that number sitting in your would have spent note is $612. $612 in 1 month on things you don't remember buying and can't point to a single physical result from. You don't feel richer yet. You just feel a little more awake. Around day 35, something shifts. The willpower part gets easier, but a new problem shows up: decision fatigue. Every single purchase now requires a conscious, should I or shouldn't I? And that's exhausting to do 20 times a day. So you build a system instead of relying on willpower. You set up 3 simple rules. 1. Groceries only. Plan 2 days a week. No more quick trips that turn into $60. 2. A 48-hour rule on anything over $30 that isn't a bill. If you still want it in 2 days, you can get it. 3. 1 guilt-free $20 a week. No questions asked, so the whole thing doesn't feel like punishment. The 48-hour rule is the one that changes everything. You add things to a cart, new shoes, a gadget, a subscription, and by the time 48 hours pass, most of them just don't matter anymore. Out of 11 things you almost bought in month 2, you actually still want 3 of them by the deadline. That's when it clicks. Most spending isn't about need. It's about the feeling in the exact moment you're standing in front of the buy button. Give that moment 48 hours and the feeling usually disappears on its own. By day 60, your would-have-spent tracker reads $1,180 for the month, even higher than month 1, because you're now catching purchases you didn't even notice before, like 6 different small subscriptions you forgot you were paying for. You cancel 4 of them that week alone. The last stretch is the strangest part. It stops being hard. By day 70, making your own coffee isn't a sacrifice. It's just your morning. Cooking dinner isn't a chore you're forcing yourself through. It's 15 minutes that somehow became relaxing. You genuinely forget some days that you're doing an experiment at all. It's just how you live now. On day 82, a friend invites you to a spontaneous dinner out. Old you would have said yes automatically and worried about the cost later. You actually pauses, checks in with yourself, and realizes this isn't an impulse buy. This is a real thing you want to do with a person you care about. You go, you enjoy it, no guilt. That's the real shift nobody tells you about. The goal was never to spend zero money forever. The goal was to spend on purpose instead of on autopilot. Day 90 arrives. You open the banking app one more time. Here's what 90 days actually did to your money. Total amount you didn't spend on coffee shops, delivery apps, and impulse purchases. $2,940. 4 canceled subscriptions you forgot existed. $47 a month back, permanently, which is over $560 a year you'll never have to think about again. You took $2,000 of that $2,940 and moved it straight into a high-yield savings account, the first real emergency fund you've ever had. The other $940 you left in checking as breathing room, because for the first time in years, checking your balance doesn't make your stomach drop. But here's the number that actually matters more than any of it. You did the math on what this looks like over one full year if you kept the system going. At roughly $1,000 a month in avoided spending, that's $12,000 a year, money that used to just evaporate into coffee cups and delivery bags, now sitting in an account with your name on it growing. You didn't get a raise. You didn't pick up a second job. You just stopped bleeding money you never noticed you were losing. 3 things this experiment taught you that no budgeting app ever could. 1. You can't fix what you don't track. Most people don't overspend because they're bad with money. They overspend because they've never actually seen where it goes. The moment you started writing down every would-have-spent dollar, the pattern became impossible to ignore. 2. The 48-hour rule beats willpower every time. You will lose to willpower eventually. Everyone does. But you won't lose to a system that just asks you to wait 2 days before deciding. Delay isn't deprivation. It's just space to think clearly. 3. This was never about being cheap. It was about the gap between spending on autopilot and spending on purpose. Same amount of money can buy you nothing you remember, or it can build an emergency fund that changes how safe you feel every single day. The difference isn't the dollar amount, it's the decision behind it. You're not telling anyone to never buy coffee again. You're not telling anyone delivery apps are evil. You're saying, for 90 days, you finally saw your own money clearly, and once you see it clearly, you can't unsee it. If you're sitting there right now with $340 in your account and no idea where the rest went, you don't need a new job. You don't need to win the lottery. You need 90 days, one Notes app, and the willingness to feel a little uncomfortable on purpose. Start today. Track everything you'd normally buy without thinking. Give yourself the 48-hour rule. Come back in 3 months and see what you find. If this resonated with you, subscribe. We're telling one quiet money story like this every week. And if you've ever done your own no-spend challenge, drop your numbers in the comments. I read every one.